much for always being part of our day. This is Cutting with Bella Kobe, and with me in the studio is Mrs. Fumi. The trust of today is profit and expansion management, which is the reason, the need why people's businesses collapse. And so, for it not to occur again or to be reduced to the barest minimum is the reason why we chose this topic for today. So, thank you for being part of the day. You're welcome once again to the show. All right. So, before we went on that break, you elaborated on the fact that the profits itself is what comes in. Now, the management is how best you utilize it. And the major problem people have is that they don't give the business time to survive before taking out of the money. And like the illustration you gave, like if you invest 200,000 into a business and 250, and you have a return of 250, and you remove the 50,000, which is bad. Yes. Okay. So before we went on that break, we were about to talk about the expansion process. So how do we do it?
Talking about the expansion process, first and foremost, you must have a goal.
Okay.
You must have a goal. When you have a goal, it leads you to a place where you begin to sit down and think of how to achieve that goal, and that's where strategy begins to come in place. And actually, smart profit management is actually one of the important strategies in expansion. You need to set a goal. You need to have a budget for your expansion process.
So what does it take to be a smart profit manager? Because you just use that word smart.
Yes.
So it means it has to go beyond your regular thinking. You have to do the extra mile.
You have to be innovative.
Okay.
You have to be prudent. You need some things sometimes. For instance, you're in the services business, or you provide services, you're not selling. Even when you're selling these days, marketing is king.
Yes.
You have to know that you cannot spend the same amount of money as a small business owner as a medium or a big business owner will spend on marketing. So you have to be innovative. You can use your use of smartphones, use of your social media yourself, because you cannot afford yet to hire a social media manager, and all of those things. Whatever it is that is peculiar to your own business, you just have to be able to sit down, innovate, think of new ideas on
Think of ways.
how ways to achieve the same goal without having to spend so much. And that's where budgeting comes. It's very important to always have a budget before you begin any project.
Okay. So now, taking us to the budget. Before the budget, would you advise a strategic business plan? Because in part of the business plan is what you have the budget, you have your executive statement, the number of staff you're expecting to work with, and your opportunities, that's your SWOT analysis, like your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and strengths, and all that. So how would you discuss the relevance of what's it called again? How do you define the relevance of business plan to a business?
The relevance of business plan can really not be overemphasized.
Okay.
That's why I said before you start, you must have a goal. And these are all the things that are embedded in your business plan, your goal, your everything, budget, what you need in terms of staffing, in terms of marketing projections, in terms, your business plan is fine, yes. But you see, in Nigeria, I don't know if I can narrow it down to this environment.
Please do.
You see, in Nigeria, I realized that it's very difficult for business owners to stick to the provisions of the business plan.
Why?
Because, things come up, market forces, things change. You don't have, like inflation, things can just come up. Okay, you start expanding and you already projected ₦1 million investing. I just did some expansion in one of my businesses, and right in the middle of working, we had a hike in prices of certain essential necessities. How do you handle this?
So how did you handle it when
Well,
it came?
we had to deviate a little from what we had in the plan. So in essence, what I'm saying is, when you draft your business plan, when you draw up your business plan, you have to consider changes that may arise in the environment. So you give room. The mistake I made was that room was not there. So we just had to begin to think of, okay, what do we do? How can
Possible ways.
Yes, possible ways of mitigating the situation. You understand? So you have to give room for changes. You have to give room for inflation. You have to give room for staff not showing up. You have to give room for, you just have to give room for a lot of things. There are things that you face as a business owner that you're not even envisaging. That's why I said from the beginning that you have to be innovative.
So you look for better ways to ensure that things keep moving. That means your business plan must not be rigid.
It mustn't be
very
that's the word, yes.
flexible.
It must be very flexible. It must be very flexible. I'm not of the school of thought that when you write out your business plan, you can't stick to it all the way through, because even the customers, your projections, everything is in the business plan. You understand? They are the buyers, they are the clients, and
they are the people you are out to satisfy. They are the people you are
out to satisfy, and they can just decide. Something may just happen and they all decide, okay, we're not having parties with lights and flowers anymore. We're having our parties at the seaside. So you who own a light and flowering company, what do? You understand? So you just have to be flexible with your business plan, really.
Okay.
Yes.
So how would you define the behavioral patterns of customers? Now, because over the years, or how long have you been in the business?
I've been in business for about 14 years.
Wow.
Yes, for about 14 years.
What did you start with?
Okay, I started out as a caterer because I was raised by a catering mom.
Okay.
So I started out doing catering gigs for outdoor events, and then later owning a restaurant, and then food processing, and then I also run the events decoration part of the business. So
Wow,
it's been a lot. I've also done a bit of buying and selling, but then I realized that it's not for me.
It's not your line.
Yes.
Okay. So over the years, with the wealth of experiences that you've gained, how would you define the behavioral pattern of customers?
You see, customers are always intrigued when they find something new.
Okay.
That satisfies their taste and their class.
Okay, let's take a break there.
Okay.
Well, you've been watching Cotton. Thank you for always being part of our day. We bring you the best of the business world to ensure that you're well fed and to ensure that your business doesn't just crumble. Now, to ensure that the country, our country, learn from developed countries of the world. Thank you for being part of our day. We'll be right back after this break.